Hey, what's up? Hello everyone. How you doing? How are you doing today? Can can you hear me well? Can you see my screen? I'm doing some changes here on my setup at my office. I'm not sure if everything is working properly. Can you hear me well? Can you see my screen? Yes. All right. Thank you. All right. So hello CA, Sina, and Patrick. Hello Salman, Dian. Hola Alex. Hello Annette. Hola, Net. Hello, Luke. What's up? Hey, Luke. I was, dude, I was thinking on you on every candle on QQQ on SPY. I was thinking on you. Hello, Francine. All right, all right. Okay, I'm gonna give a few. I'm gonna give a minute. I'm gonna give a minute just for more people to join. I'm moving something on my other computer. And I think we are ready. Yes, sir. This is it. All right. All right. All right, guys. So let's go to the charts. So this morning, well, I think it's worthy. I think it's worthy to go here. All right. So this was the SPY chart this morning. Let's use the replay. All right, this was the SPY 15-minute chart this morning. All right, so as you can see, after the long weekend, after tariffs news, after the 10-year yield news, people started to, this sell off. I mean, we had this sell off, and for being honest, after this move, I was actually waiting for the break of this area here. This area here, 643. So after this break on the pre-market, I was like, okay, well, I can see you here. I can see you here. So what's my next step? What's my next step? So I was waiting for the actual break and stay below this daily 20 SMA 640.18. And it was the same thing with QQQ. After breaking this area here, this 569, I was just waiting like, okay, well, let's see if we can stay below probably this 566.50, 567, and that's gonna be my plan. That's gonna be my plan, right? So we were saying here 643, 640.11. All right. So as you can see, this morning we open here. We try to recover something. This is something that I tell you all the time, all the time. On Mondays, I mean, today is a Tuesday, right? But it's the first day of the week for trading. On the first day of the week for trading, you should be waiting. You should be being very patient because market is just waking up. Market is coming from a hangover. So sometimes it takes a little bit more time to actually see what they want to do. So that was exactly my plan. So I was waiting patiently because this recover wasn't feeling, like this wasn't feeling like true. This wasn't feeling like, like well, market is just reaping. It's just gonna reclaim previous day levels, everything. So I wasn't feeling that it was to happen something like that. So I was waiting for the actual retest of this 640.11 that I show you on the 15-minute chart, 640.11 on the 15-minute chart. And why this was important? Well, also because before the Jackson Hole repair, this was the key level, right? This was the key level, 640.11. If you go back to the previous day live streams, you will see that that level has been there for, I mean, since many days. So it's not a new level. That was a level that we have right there. So I was waiting for the reaction. I was waiting for the reaction right here. I was waiting for the reaction right here. And what we have here, a huge rejection. So we rejected this key level, 640.11, and then we started bouncing around here, right? Around 639.50, rejection, another rejection, another rejection. And this was the catalyst for me to say, okay, well, we are going down. We are going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejections of this 639.50. For me, that was the catalyst. All right. So after this move, I know there was a lot of people looking for the upside. There was a lot of people looking for the upside. But again, this move didn't feel like, like real, right? Didn't feel like real. So my bias for the day was kind of bearish, but I waited patiently. And we had, I had a very nice entry. I'm saying we had because my wife was with me this morning, so we were trading together, and we were looking at the different entries, and we were like, oh well, this is our signal. So I think for SPY we had a few different entries here. For example, once we broke this pivot low, or let's say this local low, I really like this break. And I know this is the media retest, but remember what I told you, that the trend is heavier than any key level here, because here we have this 638.50 right here, 638.50 right here. So once we broke 638.50, for me it was more the trend than the key levels. So that's why I was already on QQQ. I'm gonna show you in a minute. I'm gonna show you in a minute, but this was a good entry signal for going on the breakdown. I know this is the media retest, so probably this does not qualify for a break and retest. But what about this, right? I mean, we have this 638 break and retest, and then we had this break and retest of the 5-minute opening range. So on SPY we had a few opportunities right here, right? So I'm not drawing anything on SPY because I didn't do anything on SPY, and I wasn't ready for showing you something here. But let's go to QQQ. All right. So on QQQ we had two different. Well, let me go to the chat first, because I don't know if there's any question here. Hello Ben, Shocky, Deuce, Declan. Where do people see the tariff new? I didn't see anything about that on Forex Factor. I was reading about that on Twitter. Hello Anne, Basingas, Ricardo Casotti. I had such a hard time to switch my bias from downside to upside. I always had in the back of my head that we will have a pop and fade on most of the names, but it was bullish during the time I trade. Well, actually, this is exactly what I shared on the Discord, Ricardo. If you are on our Discord on the accelerator, this is exactly what I shared. I said that we will have a pop and fade to relevant key levels or round numbers, and then we will have the fade, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know, like I don't know how to explain this, but after the sell-off on the pre-market, this was kind of expected, right? Hello, Tocayo. A couple who trades together stays together. Dude. Let's say yes. Let's say yes. Stay positive. Stay positive, right there. All right. So I was watching. I was watching different opportunities here on QQQ. Let me show you what I did. I mean, first I'm gonna show you what I was watching on the charts, and then I'm gonna show you what I did. Right. So basically what I was watching was kind of this new channel here after the break of this 563.27. That's a key level on the daily chart. It started creating this range here, and when it broke this range here, this is actually the 15-minute, yeah, this is the 15-minute opening range. It is here. Yes, it is. I don't know why it's not here, but I added a text here. Well, I don't know where it went. Anyways, well, what I added here is that this was the 15-minute opening range right here. This is the, yeah, like right here. This was the 15-minute opening range. So this is a very, very, very easy entry situation for QQQ. So you had this break, displacement, huge displacement, and retest. And look at the rejection right here. Look at the rejection right here. Again, these are two different key levels right here. This is the 15. Right here, it's 563.20. It's the 15-minute opening range, and this one is the a key level on the daily chart. So this is a previous low, I think. So this was this was a very easy to spot entry here with the break and retest method, right? So my first goals here will be the 5-minute opening range or the opening price right here, right? So this was a 1 to 3.6 risk reward ratio trade. But as you can see here, price was respecting market structure. So this high here, it's actually a lower high, right? So usually waiting for, you know, the market structure to develop. So right here, you have a nice push down. And if you were following this, just to the next key level here was 1 to 4.5, to the pre-market low 1 to 5.5, and if you actually get all the way to low of the day, it was something like 1 to almost 8 risk reward. I had well, and this is what I was watching on the chart. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what I did. So I was waiting for the rejection of this here, 565. This was my key level here. I was waiting for the rejection here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections here. And for being honest, I was looking to something like this. 1, 2, and 3 like this. And then I was considering to be something like here, something like here. Oh, sorry. Something like here, my neckline, right? I mean, I know this comes all the way to here, but this was for me, this was the kind of the neckline. So when we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth rejection of 565, I was like, okay, well, this is not going anywhere here. This is going down. So I started my trade once we had this kind of retest of this neckline. So I opened my position somewhere like here, 1040. My risk was the top of this candle here, and my first target was right here. I know this is not a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio trade, but that was my first target. So we actually broke really well this target here, and then I started going like every 50 cents. So right here, 562.50 was a 1-to-3 risk reward. And then after we actually held this 15-minute opening range and key level on the daily chart, I moved my target to here. So this was the opening price, and this was the 1 minute opening range. So now I have a 1-to-5 risk reward ratio trade. Okay, and actually lower this, obviously, I mean something like here, right? So now I already have a 1-to-10 risk reward ratio trade, and I held my contracts all the way to here. I think I closed my position something like here, right? Or yeah, or here. I don't 11:55. I don't remember very well. I think it was like here 12:02, somewhere around here. I closed my position right here. Why? Because after the rejection of the low of the day, I said like, okay, well, I mean, this might be a good point for the long-term investors to actually re-enter into this position. So they rejected 565, but they defended low of the day 559.50. So okay, well, I was very happy here. And this trade went all the way to, let me tell you, give me 1 second. One eighty 186%, right here. I mean, my last contracts right here, 186.5%. So that was an amazing trade for me. Again, I'm telling you what I was watching, right? I mean, this was kind of an aggressive entry because my thesis was to the downside, and we had a few rejections right here. So this is my entry here. But if you were waiting only for break and retest, entries, this was also an awesome entry here. This is the break and retest of the 15-minute opening range. So this was, I think, well, I was watching the Discord. This was the entry that Lauren took. So this was an amazing trade also. I mean, if you took it to low of the day, something like here, look at this, 1 to almost 8 risk reward ratio trade. This was also an amazing trade. So let me go to the chat and let me see if you people took something like this. Hello, Gabi. Hello, Ramesh. Alex, you had the same entry. Which one? The one here on the 15-minute opening range, or the one here on the neckline? Hello, Eileen. That's very nice from you, Eileen. Thank you. I'm really glad that you find value on my webinars. Thank you, CA. Thank you, Diane. I was watching a similar setup, an entry on SPY 1042. What do you think? 1042. Yeah. Well, that's very similar. That's kind of the break, immediate retest of this local low here, or neckline, if you want to call it a name. Yeah, that's kind of the exact same trade that I took, but then on SPY. Breaking the neckline, the second one. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, this one here was awesome. This was because it's super clear, right? I mean, it's the break, retest, 15-minute opening range, also a daily key level, a daily chart key level. Yeah, this was an amazing trade. I'm super happy that you took it. Again, this the only one that I watched on the Discord that took this one here and shared was Lauren. I love it because she's super patient. She's super patient and she waits for opportunities like this. This is not like a very clear rejection of the key level, intraday's price action. Yeah. I didn't take this trade because I was wondering, is Neto looking at this? Yeah, I was looking at that. remember, I'm always looking to QQQ and SPY, right? Okay, so I just this is the one thing different that we are doing right now, different to this same live stream a few months ago. We are actually going over indices opportunity, right? I know some of you don't like indices too much, but well, I think there's a lot of opportunities here, and it's a nice way to watch, because also once you understand how the indices are moving, you can have your own bias for a tech name, and you can go for the weeklies, right? Yeah, Lauren is back. She has been kind of shy on the Discord community, but she's back. She's back. She's trading again. Uh, she had a family thing that took her away from the community for a few weeks. But she's back. She's just coming slowly to regain confidence, and but she's there. If you want to stay in touch with her, just look for her on the Discord, right? um hey, Basil, welcome. Right, so I'm gonna make a pause. Because Basil, we need you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you have not liked the video and subscribe to the channel, this is your opportunity. I'm gonna take 5 seconds from the live stream just to give you some time and do that. We want to hit the 700 subscribers by the end of this week, so please help me there. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next ones. This is AMD. I'm gonna. Okay, this is it. Okay, so I'm gonna have AMD compared to SPY and QQQ. Why? Because for just as I have for SPY and QQQ, kind of this short bias for them. I have this short bias for AMD. So once we broke this 162, I was like, oh well, I mean, if we stay heavy below this 162, 162.55, this has a lot of room to the downside. I'm actually expecting AMD to maybe come back and hit this 150 the next days. I'm not sure where it is right now. I don't know, but well, so that was kind of my bias, right? Once AMD broke this channel here, and it was staying below this 164, 162, I was like, oh well, this is not going any further than that. So this morning, it just as the indices, it opened to the upside. But after this sell-off, I knew that this was just kind of a pop and fade. So actually, that's exactly what happened here. It was a pop and fade almost to this 162.04, but it actually hit this 161.90. It was previous day low. I love this. You know, my favorite setup, it's the break and retest of the previous day high and the previous day low. So that was exactly what we had right here. So after this rejection of the previous day low, we retested previous day low right here, and then when we broke kind of this area here, we were having a lower high, right? break of this 160.50, displacement and retest of this area here, right? Retest of this area here. So once you have this rejection again of this area here, and I want, again, I don't like, I don't want you to marry a key level or to think on a key level as just as a line, right? Because if you are watching this, let me make this bigger, all right? If you are watching this, guys, can you see that we are actually struggling with this area? I mean, this is the area we are actually struggling. So I was discussing this on the Discord, like someone said like, oh well, but this retest went a lot higher than this previous low, and I was like, yeah, I know, but this is not, I mean, you should be paying attention to this area. Of course you should be paying attention to this area, but the action price, or I'm sorry, the price action is actually telling you that this is the area to be concerned, right? Can you see how many bounces have all of these candles here? So when you break, this is not the area that you want the retest. This is the area that you want the retest. And look at what happened here. We had this nice retest exactly to this area here. Look at all of the bounces right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So look at this. So the relevant area is this one here. I know this is the lowest of this move, but the relevant area is this one here. So these guys, this is reading price action. This is reading what the price is telling you. This is just a reaction. Yes, this is just a reaction, but the price action is right here. The buyers are defending this 160.85 area here. So once you break and then you come for the retest, this is the move that you are looking for. And now you are looking for this move. You enter somewhere here, let's say you enter on the retest and on the second candle right below the body of this candle here, and you are looking for, let's say this local low, right? So this local low, it's a 1 to 2.25 risk reward ratio trade. It came back. Look at this. It came back. It had one candle that actually closed above this key level. So maybe you were stopped right there, or maybe you just close your position right here, right? But this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of an 84% rule, right? As you can see here, market structure is intact. So you actually come down, reject this same key level here, rejection of this same key level here. And if you enter your position right here and you had the same risk and the same targets, look at this. This was a very nice trade right here. And if you follow this, let's say 159, well, it didn't hit 159, but very close to here. This might be a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio trade with no doubt. Just look at these candles breaking all of the previous areas. All right. Ionic, do you stop watching the 5-minute opening range and focus on the 15? Well, no, I'm actually watching all of them. I'm watching all of them. All right. Declan, I took a long on AMD 1021. AMD 1021 here. Looking for the full gap fill using the 940 gap fill. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. So as you can see here, this is the opening price and this is the previous day close. So just let me show you something here. Okay. 9, you said 1021. 1021 right here. Okay. Well, I see what I see what you tried here. I think it was I think it was a nice shot. Uh, I had a short bias for me, right? But as you can see here, 1021, 1021 right here. This is the candle that actually break this bull flag, and you were looking for continuation to here 162.55, right? Yeah, well, I mean, I understand what you are doing here, but on the higher time frame, you have this area here 162, this 162 as a strong key area, right? As a strong key area. So maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, if you wanted to long from here to 162, because that will be your first target, I don't think this is like a nice, I don't think this is like a nice risk reward. I don't know, where was your stop? Something like here? And look at this. This is your first target here. It's not even a 1 to 2 reward. Look at this. Well, actually, the gap fill was a 1 to 2 reward rate to trade, in case you know, like, you tried something like this. But as I said, on the higher time frame, this 162.04 was a bit heavy for you know, like, for me, right? I don't know. I just look at this. I mean, this actually just bounced right here, because this was the floor for all of these rejections, right? So once you break this demand zone or this support zone, I mean, you should be waiting for the reclaim and not. I think you. I mean, I just think that you were not watching this on the higher time frame. Because this was a strong key level to break, and I will be waiting. I will be waiting for actually breaking this 162 before taking any longs here. Not sure if you are following me there, Declan. Okay. You were able to manage it well after I didn't get any continuation past previous day low. Good. Yeah, and that again, I mean, this is the previous day low, so that's a strong key level, and also this 162, it's a strong key level on the daily chart. Can you see too many touches on this 162 on the daily chart? So for me, these were strong key levels. So I'm glad you managed your position here when it failed to break these two key levels. But yeah, so and the next thing here, after you failed this previous day low, failed this 162.04, then breaking this area here, this consolidation area here, well, you had this break and retest of this area here, right? Of these two moves that we just watched, right? You're very welcome, Declan. Long for AMD now? I wouldn't take any longs right now. Not only because the hour, but look at this. This is inside of the range, right? It created a huge range. So I don't know. For me to be interested on any longs on AMD, it needs to actually break this 162. Yeah, for me, today here. Today here, for me, this is a no trade zone for today. All right, let's go to Amazon. Kind of the same thing as you can see here. This is Amazon was creating this range here. So once you break this local low here, came back, retested here. I really like this, Why? Because as you can see here, look at this. This is the 11 in the morning candle, and look what happened here on SPY. Look what happened here on QQQ. So they were actually rejecting 638 and this key level on the daily chart. So this was a perfect entry for Amazon if you were watching this, right? I mean, I know this is inside of the 5-minute opening range, but look at this. This thing was struggling on this area here, and once you broke, came back, retested, then I will trust this continuation to the downside. So if you enter right here, you have your stop loss at the top of this candle. Your first target will be the 5-minute opening range low or the low of the day. And then look at this, pre-market low in a few candles, and then 222. I think 222 has been a strong key level for some weeks or months now. So if you actually went to 222 right here, it was a 1 to 10 risk reward ratio trade. That will be an awesome trade, right? So as you can see, they all pop at the very beginning of the session, and then when the indices finally failed, all these faded. I think most of the names, right? Anyone took something on Amazon? Gabi, Neto, Amazon. If we had taken the call trade at 950 with a target high, 950 here. Why here? Just because the opening price? 950. What was your idea here, Gabi? This is the this is the opening price. I mean, I don't see too much of relevance right there. 84% rule of what? $950 here or 950 your time? $223.76 multiple touches. Your time. I don't know, guys. I mean, yes, I mean that's the opening price. That's why you are watching too many candles right here. But I'm not sure if I will take this as a relevant key level, to the upside. But you know what? I mean, the indices were pushing nice here. Indices were pushing. Well, I mean, that could work. I'm just not sure that was like a break and retest. Other than it's a level on the daily chart on my charts. Which one? 223.80. You had something like here. I don't know, Alex. I mean, I understand why it's a key level on your chart. It's just not for mine. But I like it, eh? Something like that. 223.82. Ah, look at this. Well, now it might be. Now it might be. Well, if that was on your plans, guys, that was perfect, right? Nice break and retest of this. Can you see here why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of touches right here. 223.82. That's a nice key level. For being honest, I'm not paying attention to Amazon right now. But that's a good key level. So now if you take that will be fine. I mean, it's just for Amazon, I think this is just too much. But again, I mean, you need to start, like identifying how much your name can move to the upside, to the downside, how well they react. But yeah, I mean, I think this was showing relative strength against SPY and QQQ. So maybe this was a good level. It's just I wasn't watching to it. Um, Declan, I think I should make a new rule where I can take a trade unless I switch to the 15-minute or higher time frame before, since I take 2 seconds to do and can really. Yeah, or let's make a different rule here, Declan. What if you go to your 15-minute chart before the market opens, and you just, like, kind of build your own bias, make your key levels on the 15-minute chart, draw your key levels on the 15-minute chart, and try to identify a bias for the day. So that, and something that was useful at first for me, because then I was watching two different names and didn't remember what I wanted for each of one. It's I had a paper on my desk, and I was looking only for key levels. Like, okay, um, I will be looking for Amazon below this, and I will be looking for AMD above this, and I just noted one or two key levels on my chart, but on my paper. So when I was actually looking at the session, I know I was watching too many lines and everything, but I just took a look to my note, and I was like, oh well, I mean, yes, Amazon is moving to the upside, but I'm not interested unless we break, I don't know, like 226. So even if we are having, like a nice move here, I'm not interested until I break this 226. And that's the way I actually, plan my day. So I kind of have my trading areas of interest. So once we hit that area, I'm interested. But if we are not there, even if it's moving like really clear, well, it's not part of my plan, and I'm okay. I'm okay taking only trades that are in my plan, right? I mean, I don't take any move on the chart. I need to plan for it. If I didn't plan for it, I just don't take it. All right. Uh, you do that, but sometimes I get to focus on intraday price action. Yeah, well, that's something that you can start doing, Declan. Write it down. Write it down on a notebook and have your notebook right with you. Right? Okay. So guys, let's go to the next one. Nvidia. This was the one that I had the text here, but I think it was the same thing for AMD, right? So again, we opened to the upside. We actually hit or reclaim this key level on the daily chart. We went to reclaim 172, but look at the rejections right here, 172. Look at the rejections right here, 172. Okay, so we reclaim, rejected, reclaim, rejected again, broke down, retested, rejected again, rejected again. So here, guys, as you can see, once you rejected 172, there's a moment when, like, sellers just won the battle and buyers are kind of surrendering, right? So they push the price down. They try to, they retested this 15-minute or opening range. What is this? This one. Okay. So the 15-minute opening range, let's say an order block right here, or one candle rule right here on this candle. So you had this break and retest. Hey, Neto, why you didn't take here? Why you didn't take here? 10, 12. You tell me. Oh, I'm sorry. So guys, why this 212 is not a good entry right here? Please type in the chat. Type in the chat. Thank you. Neto, do you make plays with earning highs and lows? Sometimes. If it's like really evident a key level. If it's just one random candle, I don't. But if it's like close to a round number or something like that, yes. So guys, can you tell me why this kind of retest right here, 10-12, is not a good candle to enter here? Come on, guys. I just want to know if you're paying attention here. 10-12, 10-13, 10-12. Thank you. SPY and QQQ, the structure is not broken. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Sina. So you are paying attention. Thank you, DM. Yes. Exactly, Raul. Hey, how you doing, Raul? I'm gonna go to San Antonio, Texas this month. So stay tuned. I will let you know so we can meet again. So yes, exactly. So in this candle, SPY and QQQ were kind of bouncing on that area right there, right? So that's why this is not the right candle to enter. But if you start, looking at this rejection, and hey, you know what? I mean, after these too many rejections, what about a red candle on the indices that wants to go lower? So this is the right moment. This is the right moment. As you can see here, SPY is actually rejecting 639.50. Again, you need to be looking where they are rejecting, where they are reacting, right? So right at this candle, 1023, strong rejection from 639.50. This is heading lower right now. This is actually, as you can see here, this is kind of lower than these previous candles here. So this is actually going lower, right? So right now, this is the time for, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections of this 15-minute opening range, now this is the time for an entry here, right? So if you started your position right here, 170.40, you had your stop loss right at the top of these candles, and you had your first target right here on this daily chart key level, 168.80. This was a 1 to 3.9 risk reward ratio trade. And actually, if you manage to stay patient on this same trade, look at this, it went all the way to 167. So this was a very nice trade. You just needed to be patient. You just needed to, read the room, read the chart. What is this thing doing, right? What is this thing doing? So once you see the market structure is, about to break or just breaking, then you start looking at your tech names and start taking your positions there, right? All right. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla, same thing. Look at this. You will tell me, Neto, this is just a random place on the chart. I mean, this is not a break or retest of anything. So guys, I'm gonna put this candle as close as I can to this number. What is this number here? 330. 330. 330. 330. Is this a relevant number for you? Is this a relevant number for you? Round number, side number, strike number, guys. Break and retest right to the T. Right to the T. Right to the T. Strong rejection. Well, this is something that you can miss. Why? Because also SPY and QQQ are actually breaking down, retesting this previous low, breaking down, retesting this previous low, and continuation. So this is the perfect time for a short position on Tesla. Rejection of 330, confirmation candle, you take your entry right here. And look at this. Let's go. What about if we just go to the next strike? Well, next strike, 327.51. All right, that was a 1 to 3.8 risk reward ratio trade, but this actually went all the way to here. So this might be a 1 to 4.5 risk reward ratio trade. This was an awesome opportunity on Tesla. And look at this. I mean, this is kind of really obvious, right? I don't want to push the idea of, you know, like the head and shoulders here, but guys, I mean, this is pretty much the idea, right? This is pretty much the idea, or forget about that. Neckline, something like here. So you break, try to came back, retest, continuation. All right. So I know this is not as clear, but if you go to the 5-minute, oh, if you go to the 5-minute, it's a bit clearer. It's not as clear, but I mean, again, guys, you need to start reading price action, right? Reading price action. After this break, it came back for liquidity and then more sell-off. All right. Any questions about the Tesla thing? What trade did you take today? QQQ. I already explained it, Jatin. I'll go to review it again at the end. And you took that trade, this one here. Congratulations. Good. What was your target? The 325.50 or something lower? Yes. All right. Good. Look at this. This was a 1 to 3.8 risk reward ratio trade. That's what I love. Taking puts. Every move it's fast. It pays well, and you don't need to be like in front of your charts for the whole day. All right. This is the Microsoft. Microsoft actually offered both sides of the chart. All right. So this is the break and retest of the high of the day. Can you see here? So when we open, this is the actual. This is actually the 15. Yeah, this is the 15-minute opening range again. Okay, so this is the 15-minute opening range. So you have the break and retest of the high of the day, 15-minute opening range. And look at this. This is a nice reaction right here. So if you open your position right here, stop loss at the bottom of this, and look at the indices were, like pushing higher right here. So it was a good time for Microsoft and taking longs, right? So you had your stop loss right at the bottom of this candle, and you start, like, okay, well, let's aim for the pre-market high. Let's see what happened here. All right, well, this was a 1 to 4.4 risk reward rate today. What about high of the day? Well, actually, high of the day was a 1 to 2.8 risk reward ratio trade. So just to high of the day, because it was super close to previous day low. And look at the reaction right here on previous day low. You had a reaction right here on previous day low, but it doesn't matter because you already had a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade right here. Okay, so later in the day, indices start dropping. Microsoft starts following the indices. Look at this nice break and retest of the 5-minute opening range. And what was going on right here? Well, indices were still dropping. So this was just a gift from Microsoft to actually, trying to enter into a short position here. So if you enter right here, your risk will be at the top of these candles, and you need to start following your key levels. So right at the 5-minute opening, the 1-minute opening range was a 1 to 2.2 risk reward rate to trade. But if you were aiming to the 550 cents area here, it was a 1 to 2.5, and right to this, this is today's opening. It was a 1 to 3 risk reward rate to trade. So I know this is not a home run, but if you miss all of the others, and you were looking for a short position here, well, here you are. You have at least one good opportunity here. Okay. What about Palantir? Palantir, let me show you here. Palantir, I had big expectations about Palantir to the downside. So I was expecting that once we were below this area here, we stayed heavy of 152, 152.50, and have some continuation maybe to this 145.70 or something like that. But no, Palantir didn't want to go lower, so it started reclaiming key levels. So it reclaimed previous day low, it reclaimed pre-market high. So once you reclaim pre-market high right here, you can actually take a position here. And what was going on the indices? Well, they were actually reacting really nice to these one candle rules on the indices. Can you see here? Let me add this here. Well, it actually didn't, hit this order block right here. But what about here on SPY? So right here, you reclaim the pre-market low. Pre-market high. And well, if you took a position right here, and you were aiming to this 157.50, that's a key level on the 50-minute chart, it was a 1 to 4.5 risk reward rate to trade. And then if you miss that, look at this break and retest of high of the day. And what was happening on the indices? Well, the indices were just dropping. So this thing was moving on its own power. But look at this. This was a nice break and retest, high of the day, continuation to previous day high, and then it just rejected. But anyways, if you aim to here, it was a 1 to 4 risk reward rate to trade. That was super good for Palantir on a name that has been having relative strength while the indices are just dropping, right? Okay. Apple, well, I actually forced this. I was actually forcing this, like, okay, well, the break and retest of this 229.14 pre-market low, this reclaim here. So yeah, forget about this of Apple. I actually, I don't have anything for Apple. Google, I think this is, look at this, right here on this reclaim or this retest on both indices. This was a good opportunity for the break and retest of the 1 minute opening range on Google. So you had this, and then the break and retest of this low of the day. Both two good opportunities here. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, well, that was Google. Meta, well, Meta has been playing with my feelings. It went Meta here. It went a good chunk inside of this daily gap, right? Or this gap on the daily chart. We still have a lot of gap here, but after this drop, I was like, oh, well, I mean, we need Meta to stay below 730 to actually get something here. But no, it didn't. It didn't. I mean, it just reclaimed, went out of this, went out of the gap, but then it started failing. Where? 730. 730. So we had this break and retest of 730 right here. This was, like the bouncing area for the whole morning price action. And then I was like, oh well, once you broke 730, displaced and retested this 730, okay, well, now we had some opportunity to the downside. So if you were aiming to today's opening price, this 726, this was a 1-to-4 risk reward rated trade. I'm not sure. I think Ramesh is here. I think Ramesh is here. Ramesh, did you take this Meta trade? I'm sure you are, because you have been following Meta with me for some days, right? I mean, you are also expecting the gap fill soon. Yeah, so I was waiting for this, but I mean, I just had an amazing trade on QQQ, so I wasn't following any other play for this morning. But this was a nice play. This was a nice play here. Uh, that's good to read, Francine. That's good to read. Remember, guys, I mean, nothing that I say here should be taken like, like blindly. You start looking for these setups, you start back testing, maybe you start forward testing, and if this makes sense for you with your personality, with the ticker that you are actually trading, start, implementing these setups into your playbook, but slowly, right? I mean, you just don't change everything you do and start doing this. Rahul, sorry to go back to the Nvidia trade. Any particular reason the 5-minute retest long at around 10-11 was not a good idea? Let's go to Nvidia. Break and retest 10, 11, 10, 11. Actually, no. Actually, I think this was a good entry point for going long, in my opinion. And I don't like this kind of move. I mean, once you have this kind of move to the upside and then to the downside, I think the momentum is just killed. So I'm trying to be like more, I don't know how to say. I just think that after this move and going back, giving everything back in just a few minutes, this kills momentum, right? So right now, I'm not sure about taking longs right here on the 5 minutes, because it's you you are not just looking the retest of a key level, right? You are looking the retest in a context, right? So again, after this move to the upside and then this rejection and move to the downside, I think it kills momentum. So there's nothing interesting here to the upside unless you, I don't know, like maybe you reclaim this 171.20. That will be like some sort of sign that Nvidia still has some fuel on this move. But remember, not because just it went higher and then lower and retested this key level means that you are just going long. Because I mean, for me it looks more like, okay, well, everything is over. We tried, but it failed, so it's here again, right? It's not like, oh well, it's just scaling up. It's just slowly grinding, or it's grinding to the upside. No. This is like a failed move for me. Not sure if you're following me there, Raul. Meta. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Thank you. Okay. So that's all for me, guys. That's all for me. For those who trade futures, price broke the 5-minute high to the downside, came back and retested, then up from there. Oh, you know what? And I can't. No, this is not. I don't even know how to set futures here on TradingView. Sorry about that. If is it useful if we take a look to SPY or QQQ? Yeah, I don't know how to actually check futures on TradingView. Sorry about that. All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining. Remember, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are on a mission to reach 700 subscribers by the end of this week. This is a short week, so we only have 3 more days. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your peers, tell your accountability buddies. And that's all from my side, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.